Okay, so I want to kind of break down everything as we go along because it's kind of dope. Seeing it all laid out, I'm pretty excited, and we'll run down the list here. So we have new old stock crankshaft. It's been sitting a really long time, so it's got some surface corrosion. Everything's going to need to be cleaned up. That's just the reality. When stuff sits for a couple decades, it needs to be cleaned. But it doesn't matter because it's got, it's all superficial wear. So we've got new old stock crank, port and polished heads, all matched, flow tested. It tested at about 30% more flow than the stock heads. So that's killer. Perfect for my build, which is the Dinan turbo manifolds, which is, I just love this stamp. I stare at it all the time. I get really excited. And I'm not going to be using these, but just in case I ever decided I didn't want to go standalone, I guess I theoretically could make a Smog Legal Dinan twin turbo V12 because I've got the ECUs. For some reason, it came with 4 camshafts. Don't know. It's possible that some of them are reground. Not totally sure though. So I don't know. I haven't really dug into that yet, but there's 4 camshafts. These are not the Schrick. These are the Schrick camshafts, which are still unopened. If I can pick one up, that's kind of cool to see. Super cool to see, actually. They've never been opened, shipped, and then sat. So those will not be working well with boost. They're not made for that. They're made for naturally aspirated. So these don't go with those. So these are going to a buddy of mine. Super excited he's going to be able to use them and build a killer naturally aspirated car. And then we go over to our intake manifolds. These intake manifolds have been extrude honed. Extrude honed is a process. Let's see if I can get one of these out gently, or are they locked in place now? Extrude honed is a process, again, dirty, but it's all superficial, where you can kind of see how smooth that is. You take a rough clay-like material and you pressurize it in this intake manifold and you force it through in the direction that the air flows. Pretty much the clay fills this whole space and then it fills any other spaces that are empty till it goes out the exit, which would be towards the motor. So it kind of creates nice laminar flow. These were pretty rough on the inside from the factory, so it's a killer thing to do. It's called extrude honing. These have been extrude honed, which is nice. Moving on, this one is a crazy story that's kind of still developing. We've got Molle pistons, and apparently, so you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, missing 6, 7, 8, and then I guess another box of not 8 because we don't have a V16, but we're missing 7 of them. We have 5, we're missing 7. Apparently, the other 7 are in a shop 15 minutes from me, and they've had them for a very long time. I'm going tomorrow to see if I can locate the other 7 because I'd be super sick. Supposedly 3 sets of M70 performance pistons were made by Molle. I don't even know if I'm saying that name right. Molle, but I'm on the mission to get the other 7 to complete that box because they're out there. They're there. 2 of the other sets are in cars currently. This set never made it in a car because of some issues with shipping or communication or who knows what. It's been so long, so many years, we're going to figure that out. But it is super cool to see all those numbers. So they all were together at one point and they were all measured, which is killer. So some performance pistons, only 36 of them in the world apparently. And then we got like main caps. We've got new old stock pistons. For some reason I have 11. I don't have 12. Granted, when this guy moved twice, I think, with these parts, he's had all this stuff for decades. So stuff gets lost. All good. Having 11 new old stock pistons versus having 0 new old stock pistons is a win. So we'll figure that out. we got some wrist pins too, some new wrist pins, and then just some random odds and ends there, other odds and ends in the main caps. And then the true showstopper, aside from the Schrick stuff and the dinan twin turbo manifolds and those other things, which is cool. I mean, those ones are truly what set this whole thing off, is this. This is the M70 new old stock NLA block. Of course, it's NLA because it's old, and there's not a huge demand, but it's a lot of fun to look. I mean, again, surface deterioration, but nothing concerning at all. To look at these and just see the original coating and to feel it's just like glass. It's been sitting on a shelf since 90 something, 93, 92, 91, 90. Apparently it was for a 91, so maybe since 90. But it was bought on the East Coast for a whole lot of money, along with the crank and the pistons, and then sat. He decided to build his stock motor and keep this one as a replacement just in case he needed it, because the whole honing thing and boring and all that stuff with these doesn't really work that well. There are ways to do it, but it was kind of magic. There weren't very many wizards at the time. So he bought this, and then it sat. So I'm incredibly excited to have an M70 new old stock block, because I mean, I'm probably just going to be holding on to it, honestly, as like an ultra backup. I'm going to be running the motor I've got, the M70 motor I've got in the 7 Series. I'm just going to be slapping these heads on with some ARP head studs, cleaning up the pistons I've got in there, and doing all the maintenance items. So I'll be holding on to all the old stock stuff, all the pistons, because I only have 11 anyways, and then those guys and that, and Schrick cams are sold, and try to figure out those. Again, I think those might be better. I don't know, actually. See, that's the thing. I don't know if those are good for forced, naturally aspirated, what their ratings are. Still kind of learning all the piston stuff, but I might be able to use those in a forced induction application. Not sure yet. But anyways, here is kind of, for 2024, kind of a little gold mine of M70 stuff. Ultra excited that I have the opportunity to use this stuff in a way that I think will do it justice and do it gracefully, I hope, and kind of help BMW classic stuff live on. Anyways, thanks for watching. Maybe I'll start doing videos on this stuff, but this stuff felt special enough to warrant a video. Anyways, have a good day. I'm Julian. Enjoy it.